Daniel Franklin, Head of Business at How's Own Audi.
Brilliant. Dan, how long have you been here?
Coming to just over 4 years actually, so over 4 years, but been in the motor trade since I was 17. Mainly, if I'm honest, it's a very close subject to me, and I understand the difficulties of getting into employment, and just even getting through the first hurdle sometimes, just filling an application form in, how hard that can be. So I thought if we can give some of our expertise, some of our guidance on giving them a year in the field sort of mentality, and showing how you can put a CV together, how to learn interviewing skills, people skills in the real world. That's kind of where it started, but it stemmed off into a lot more than that now. So we've now employed someone off the back of that scheme. We take on interns each year, and we, as a group, we run diversity and inclusion programs throughout the year. And we've got our conference actually coming up next month, where we're going to discuss trying to roll this program out at a bigger scale.
So my name's Matt Storer. I'm the after sales manager at How's Own Audi. So I'm over the parts, service and workshop. Yeah, so Alex came to us as a apprentice, seeking an apprenticeship with us. We interviewed him and I was dead keen on, his attention to detail. He's got a real intricate eye for how he looks at things, and that is crucial in this line of work, especially these days when we follow test plans and write-ups and all this kind of stuff. So we offered Alex the job, and he is exactly what we expected him to be. So he really takes that time. Sometimes he can take a bit longer than others to get it, but he'll get it right, and he'll make sure that there's as much detail in there as possible. So it's really worked out well.
I'm Alex. My role is apprentice technician.
And how long have you been doing that?
Just over a year. I'd already had my mindset on it had to be something to do with cars. More specifically, it was classic, but I'd already studied 2 years with just light maintenance and restoration.
So do you think it helped you to progress into this path?
Yeah, I'd probably say so. I probably wouldn't have applied. I probably would have kept trying to go for a level 3 rather than, because that seemed like the right thing to do, whereas I probably wouldn't have thought about this, but I'm kind of glad I have. I enjoy it.
Okay.
It's hard, but I enjoy it, and I mean, if I could get rid of the coursework tomorrow, don't get me wrong, but I would. But well, the other part of it, you get your hard, tough parts, and then other than that, it's great. I've got a great bunch of people helping me, and I've got a great manager that supports me, so I can't really go wrong there, can I?
And would you encourage others to take an apprenticeship route?
Oh, it's great, yeah. I would definitely say so.
We don't judge anybody by their background, their past, if they've got learning difficulties or anything like that. We just interview them and deal with it as face value, so everybody can bring something unique to the table. It doesn't matter. Alex, for argument's sake, his attention to detail is something that our technicians that have worked here for 15 years don't have. So he brings a different set of skills. He might not be as strong as some things as some of the others, but it doesn't matter because they work together as a team. So, and we just base everything on that really.
It's probably impacted us in a way we didn't anticipate, because we thought we were doing it, well, we did set out to do it for the individuals that were on the programme. That's where it started. What we noticed over the year though, it actually evolved into not just that, the development and journey that the 70 odd employees that are here went on themselves was as impactful as the journey that the 4 or 5 interns that started the programme went on. And by the end of it, we've got probably a more understanding collective of people. And some of the feedback we had at the end of the programme was, when we did our debrief with the team, we're asking them what's changed in their view on diversity and inclusion, mainly around special educational needs. And they said they've got a different view. One example was they said when they walk into a supermarket now and they see a child maybe having a bit of an episode in one of the aisles, one of my colleagues actually said, prehistorically, he would have said that was a naughty child, but now he's got the view that maybe there's something that could be behind it as well. So his view on that is changed, and that's a very small thing, but it's opening people's eyes to there's more to it than what you see on the face of it. You can view it from 2 points of view. From the employee or the young adult, because that's what we deal with, a lot of young adults in this situation coming into our industry. I know from experience how difficult it can be. So I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was 6, Asperger's 2 years ago. Having a diagnosis is great. It helps you understand some of your traits and understand why you may do things that you do, but it doesn't then help you maybe get into employment, into progression. And I found that this trade especially was quite open to outward thinking people that can maybe act a little bit differently. So that's how I got into it. How I've watched it change over the years is though the application process becomes so difficult. You know, the minimum requirements that we expect have become a lot more. I mean, I walked into an interview and walked out of a job, didn't apply. You know, so the days have changed quite a bit. Now we obviously put people through a bit more of a rigorous program. We need to open our eyes to not everyone can go through that program, but it doesn't mean that the person can't do the job. So we've got to be quite open, and I think fair is the right word, because people need a chance. People need a chance to see, can they fit into a job? And that's where the program is great. So that's from one point of view. And then I think from your team's point of view, it's a journey that people probably haven't been on. You know, I'm fortunate enough to have children who've got autism. You know, I've obviously always been around it myself. And because of that, I've always had an eye to it. But I also know probably 70% of my friends haven't, you know, so they don't understand what it's like to have people in that environment. So to watch your colleagues go through that journey of educating themselves, understanding a bit more, becoming a lot more compassionate, it'll impact your business in ways that you didn't anticipate it started off. You know, we went in with eyes open to that and we saw that. So if you go in with no real aspirations of what you're going to get, you'll probably see more reward than just the employee that's coming.